my website right now and download my free course on alternate picking mastery. It contains 5 essential exercises that will take you to alternate picking mastery faster than you can imagine. And then I've included my method of how to lay out a practice plan in just 1 to 2 minutes that will absolutely boost your results like nothing you ever tried before. So go download it right now. It's free. Hey, the second way of expanding the pentatonic scale, and if you haven't watched the previous video about this, then please go back and do it, because that's the simplest way of expanding the scale. Today, we're going to look at how to use 2 different scales to do the same thing. And it's not like you can just use whatever scale here. You can go back and forth between these 2 scales. You must use them depending on what music you're playing over. And what we're talking about is using the Dorian minor or the natural minor. And please don't, shy away from this. Oh, it sounds complex. But it's not complex. It's just a way of gradually taking one step to expand your vocabulary and the sounds you can make on a string-to-string level. So this is really simple. And I'm going to show you a way in which you can practice this, where you gain the ability to go back and forth between using 3 different scales at one time, basically. Instead of learning them as, one by one, you learn them as one. So you can just use this tool. This is the most amazing tool for rock, pop, whatever you want to play. Enables you to not only play pentatonic lines, but also use the natural minor. Right, so you have that bluesy sound and you have the natural minor sound, or you can get the Dorian minor. Right? So you can do both depending on what music you're playing over. And this tool, this 3-scale tool, is just a universal tool that you can use over, 99.999% of the songs you're going to play over. So this is really cool. Let's look into it. Not only the scales, but how to practice them in a simple way where you can start using them today. If you play with the guys in an hour or play over a jam track, you can just start using it right away. I really mean that. So let's look into it. So let's merge 3 scales into one. I did this relatively early on, and that remained the tool of choice for every pop, rock, metal song I was playing in. So it's the next logical step. And we're going to focus on the first position minor pentatonic shape here again, right? And we're going to assume that you can play some soloing stuff in that shape. But then you have 2 choices, or you can play in 2 realms. You can play in the melodic rock realm, where you have actual 3-note chords, right? And you have, like in the key of E minor, all the chords are based on the E minor scale. And all the notes of the chords come from one of these 7 notes, right? So if you have like a... This is a chord progression in E minor, right? Melodic rock or pop or any other song. Then you can use the E natural minor scale on top of that. This is just the pentatonic scale or the blues scale. Right? And so the first position natural minor scale looks like this. Cage shape, right? Let me just, you can just photograph this off my fingers here. 12, 14, 15. 12, 13, 15. 11, 12, 14. 12, 14. 12, 14, 15 on both the A and the low E string. That's the shape. And so you take those extra notes, because it's really only 2 extra notes. These 2. Right? And then you mix them in there. That's a blues lick, right? That's a melodic minor note. Blues lick again. Blues. natural minor note right there. Right? So this is really effective. This absolutely breaks open your sound. So let me just try that. See if you can identify when I'm using the natural minor and when I'm just using, and they fit nicely together on top of each other. Right? So that's really the discipline. That's the exercise, is to practice using what you know already in the blues scale realm, and then using those extra notes you get there. Just, you know, taking the licks you know or the ways you play, and then experimenting with these new notes over a simple chord progression like E minor, A minor, and B major. You can look up, you know, other chords from the E minor scale and mix those as well. Buy a looper pedal, start playing in the background, and then start practicing. The second realm you can be into is the blues scale realm. And there we simply build riffs and progressions on the basis of the blues scale by taking each note of the blues scale and building a power chord on top of it. Right? So we got, and that's basically just, it's just blues scale, but you build a power chord on top of it. And I'm not going to go deeply into the theory of this, but simply you have a totally different sound. And for that, you use the E minor Dorian. Right, that's another scale sheet. Just going to show it to you here. 12, 14, 15 on the high E string. Same frets on the B string. Then we got 11, 12, and 14 on the G. Same on the D. Then we have, in the K shape here, the 12th and 14th on the A. And then 12, 14 on the, and 15 on the low E string. Put that on top of the blues scale and do the same thing, right? I'm just going to play a simple, like a... darn it. Okay, then I can use the blues scale, right? Right? And what you hear in the background is just the blues scale. Power chords. Right? And so now, if I use that scale, the blues scale, it sounds really good, but then if I mix these notes, and then if you notice the difference between these two options, you'll see that the only difference between the natural minor and the Dorian minor is this note. It moves from the 13th fret on the 2 top string on the B string here to the 14th fret. So the Dorian looks like this, and the natural minor looks like this. Right? And you can use your ear to determine. So let's say I'm playing a chord progression where I have to use the natural minor. So we have the E minor, the A minor, and the B major. Right, and then I use the Dorian. Oh, that wasn't. Oh, that's not good, is it? Right, but this one is good. Right, let's use the Dorian note again. it sounds awful. So you know exactly that, okay, this is not Dorian minor, this is natural minor, and then you can start using your blues scale. Right? And simply by using your ear, you don't need any theory. And this combination of scales, you can move that up to the next case shape, you know, mark it out, and start playing there as well, and using the same combination. This will take you so far, it's incredible, because now you're actually playing the diatonic scale in two combinations with the minor pentatonic, and so you can play over any song, basically, if you're in the style of rock or pop. So, watch the next video in this series for another way of expanding the pentatonic scale, and then go sign up for free jam tracks on our website, guitarmastery.net. Create a user account, and you'll see a menu item up there that you can click that says jam tracks, and you'll have access to one daily new live played jam track by professional musicians. It's really a cool resource. Do it every day. Become better at playing solos by just spending 5 minutes of actually playing a solo each and every day. You can see the keys, the scales, the arpeggios that you can use over each track on screen there. So, no excuse, just go there, do it, it's free. Subscribe for more free videos. Do it now. Do it.